Hello, everyone. Well, here we are in the middle of June. Everything's warming up. It's getting hot and sweaty here in Chicago. We are approaching peak beach weather, and so that seems like the perfect time to talk about heavily peated whiskey from the island of Isla, and specifically Isla whiskeys from distilleries which are technically not disclosed, but you don't have to be a Batman level detective to figure out basically where they're coming from. And let's start at the end here. This is a Williamson, which is the kind of accepted name, I guess, for Laphroaig, when they can't actually call it Laphroaig. This is from Berry Brothers and Rudd, bottled for Kirsch Import-Germany. And it is cask number 218. Well, why am I telling you? It's independently bottled Laphroaig, finished in Oloroso. I haven't seen the retailers still having hold of this, but yeah, I mean, this is, you will see sister barrels of this. You will see basically stuff that's equivalent to this, so I'm still going to review it. As its first sparring partner, this is very interesting. This is Isla from Isla, bottled by the Stillman's DE, so Germany. The ninth selection 9, in this little series that they do. There is very little information on this. However, the retailer I grabbed this from insisted, basically straight up states, this is Lagavulin. And normally I wouldn't. I'm old enough and cynical enough, and I've been in the game long enough that I no longer take that very seriously the vast majority of the time. I've just seen too many retailers say, the profile on this undisclosed Isla whiskey we have sure does remind us a lot of a distillery that rhymes with no core, or could this be a secret Ardbeg? No one can say for sure. It's Caol Ila. It's always Caol Ila. When it's an undisclosed Isla and they don't put a strong hint on the label, it's Caol Ila. However, now just straight up saying this is a Lagavulin is a little bit more bold than I'm used to seeing. What really made me take this seriously was that they also declare that this was aged. It's not stated on the label that this was aged. I should get to pouring these. 1 year in bourbon and then re-racked into sherry, and that's for another 6 years. And that is awfully specific. That is not. It's not information that customers looking for cheap Lagavulin would necessarily care about. So that bit of detail makes me think maybe they're not. Maybe they got some information kind of off the record, and maybe there's something to this. So I grabbed it, and we shall see how it is. So 7-year-old Lagavulin, apparently, maybe. We'll see. I will be the judge of this. And as a warm up to these two monsters, which are both cask strength, I've got a Scarabus 10-year-old, and this is from Douglas Laing, and it's Caol Ila. There's no doubt, no one's arguing it's not Caol Ila. This is Caol Ila. It is unchillfiltered and natural color, Caol Ila. And it is cheaper than the standard 10-year-old, but, so this is what we're going to start off with. All right, let me have a sip of water, and we'll get going. Jeez, look at the color on this. That really is, that's about as natural as color gets, y'all. All right, Scarabus 10-year-old from Douglas Laing on the nose. Caol Ila. This is... it smells like Caol Ila. If you have had any number of undisclosed secret Isla whiskeys, which are really Caol Ilas, you know what this smells like. The what's out there? The Portiskeags, the Finlagans, the Costco and Total Wine branded Islas. This is that signature. So you are getting, maritime peat smoke. It's that kind of clean, clean peat with, brininess. Some seaweed in there, kelp. But Caol Ila often also brings a kind of a Loire Valley Sauvignon Blanc kind of note. Like a polyfumé kind of note with a lot of minerality, like just a lot of seashells, flintiness, lemon peel. This one has a sort of grainy fatness to it. What do I mean by that? I mean, it's a little bit of a new making note. It's not rough or anything, but it's there's an oiliness. What am I going for? Almost a buttercream element to this, but mixed in with the minerality and the peat and the seawater kind of deal. Touch of vanilla, but just really a touch. Like this is very much all about the distillate. These casks did not have a lot to give. Slightly floral too, which is nice. There's a dusting of flower petals on this as well. That's kind of fun. Maybe a little marshmallow fluff as well. But, very much Caol Ila, very much kind of the austere side of Caol Ila, despite that little kind of butterfat marshmallow fluff thing. Oh, and white pepper. Don't forget that. On the palate. I mean, it's just a great profile. Caol Ila makes gajillions of liters of alcohol every year, and it is genuinely annoying how good it is, despite the sheer mass of the stuff. I mean, very similar notes to the nose. Briny peat, a little bit of a campfire ash kind of thing creeping in here too, but it's mingling with the minerality, the flint, the seashells, the polyfumé note, the if you're a white wine nerd, lemon peel, even a little touch of orange zest in there as well. The little dusting of flowers. Vanilla. Some cooking oil, like I don't know, grapeseed oil, something like that. But nice. I mean, there's not a... Oh, and black pepper. There's not a... If you've had any of the Caol Ilas I just mentioned, you know this profile. You really do. There's nothing new here. That being said, it's got really good development and structure and mouth presence. Like, this has a nice little story to tell. It arrives on that kind of fat, oily texture, with the maritime notes and I mean the peat obviously right up front, and then it kind of like grows through the mouth. A little bit of like an apple pear compote thing actually as well. Wasn't there on the nose, really. But there's a little bit of a malty thing on the palate. And then at the end, you're left with a very nice kind of peppery, briny, peaty texture. It's just very solid. Not breaking new ground here. It's just a damn good Isla whiskey. That's what it is. We'll give it some water and come back to it. All right, moving on to the Stillman's Isla from Isla Selection 9. 7 years old, apparently. Most of that in sherry. 180 bottles of this. 55.7% alcohol by volume. And we shall see what we shall see. It's not very expensive, so if it's not a Lagavulin, if it's crap, I'm not out a whole lot. Okay. So you're getting a lot of sherry cask on this, but it feels like it's reasonably integrated. So I'm getting, obviously I'm getting peat. I'm getting peat smoke and that kind of briny, ocean, watery touch. But I'm getting as much like industrial smoke, coal smoke, and even a little bit of campfire ash again, but more than before. Sherry notes, Swisher sweets, absolutely. Prune, little hint of beef bouillon. Slightly savory. There's actually some apple cheese in this. So like dried apples, honey, lots of black pepper here. Yeah, there's a grunge factor here, which I'm kind of digging on. It doesn't smell old. Like this is the youngest whiskey here, and it's showing youth, but there's a fair amount of complexity. Like the cask was pretty good, and the distillate is pretty good. Is it Lagavulin? I mean, could it be just Secret Caol Ila? Who knows? But it does remind me a little bit of that. Like there's some. Yeah, there's some chocolate orange coming out of this. It does put me in mind a little bit of the very, very old Lagavulin 16-year-old, back when they were still maturing it in old sherry casks, when it had you had the sense of dried fruit that had been sort of soaking in swamp water. There's a little bit of that coming through. It's much younger, but we are in that territory. There seems a little bit of mustard seed creeping in. Yeah, I like this. It's kind of, every time I put my nose in, it's got a little bit more to it. Some black tea leaves. But there's a vanilla thing to this, too. I wonder if, it was only 1 year in bourbon oak, but I wonder if the sherry casks were actually American oak as well. Who knows? It's a nice nose, as you can tell from my just continuing to sniff it on the palate. Can I tell you? Cross my heart and hope to die that this is in fact a Lagavulin. No, I cannot. I mean, we're not that far enough away from the sort of basic Isla profile, the basic Caol Ila profile, that it couldn't be something else. But it's walking like a duck and quacking like a duck, if you know what I mean. This is bringing the thing I love about Lagavulin, and if this really is a Lagavulin, footnote, I think it's the first one I've reviewed on this channel, which is a little bit of a scandal because I adore Lagavulin. It's probably my favorite distillery on Isla. I think the one with the highest ceiling is Bowmore, but Bowmore is a hot mess the vast majority of the time. And Lagavulin, despite, I mean, not that they don't have their own problems, I think a lot of it comes down to Diageo's cheaping out on cask management, if I'm honest. But like the fact that you can dump Lagavulin in a Don Julio cask and it's still good speaks a lot for the capabilities of the spirit. Oh, I like this. So what puts me in mind of Lagavulin is, yeah, it's got the peaty briny thing. It's got a little touch of iodine and medical dumpster to it, but it's just as much about coal smoke and like campfire smoke as it is about the peat. Like, and there's just a grunge factor here that I really dig. Yeah, like burning cooking oil. There's some vanilla though, absolutely some vanilla. Some apple and pear too, like burned mashed apple pear, something like that. Minerality, some wet rocks. And then you got the sherry cask, which again is Swisher Sweets, chocolate orange, a little bit of Bovril, sure. Honestly, in terms of mouth presence and development, right now it's not that far away from the little Scarabus. It's got very good mouth presence, very good development, hangs on really well, and everything hangs on really well. Oh, there's some nuttiness to this too. So some like lightly roasted nuts, slightly under roasted nuts. The difference is this is just bringing a couple of extra layers of complexity and character. Maybe a little bit more punch to it as well. Whatever the heck this is, it's a damn good Isla. Yes, a few squirts of water. 2, 3, 4. Half a squirt more, just to see. All right, and now the oldest thing here and the strongest thing here, the Williamson. Again, this is cask 218 for Kirsch Import-Germany. It's a Hogshead, 287 bottles, and it has an Oloroso finish. Unchillfiltered natural color, bottle 2024, vintage 2013. So, no age statement, but figure it's got to be 10 or 11 years old. Probably 10. Yep, and that's what I know. Let's see what we got. And right away you kind of see the difference between a secondary maturation that goes a couple of years and a finish, which has been, less than 2 years. They're not saying how long. It feels a little muddy in some ways. Okay, there is an orangey thing. Tangerine, really more tangerine and bergamot than just straight up navel orange. Really like a Earl Grey tea thing. Lapsang Souchong. Absolutely. That's just something that comes out a lot of the time when you have peat and sherry. Weirdly enough, it wasn't really getting in the Isla from Isla. Yeah, Lapsang, some vanilla fudge. I mean, Isla peat, maritime peat. Is there, that kind of like Laphroaig medical accent kind of thing? Maybe like a dab of iodine in there, but it's not very strong. Black pepper, a lot of black pepper. Milk chocolate. Nice milk chocolate. Not Hershey's vomiting milk chocolate, like proper milk chocolate. I'm struggling to see what else I'm getting from this. There's something smoky above and beyond the peat, but it's different from what the previous bottle was doing. It's almost like I don't know. Let's go smoked orange peel, smoked tangerine peel, and smoked bergamot peel. Sure, why not? But at least on the nose, I mean, there's layers here because Isla gives you layers. Even in very simple presentations like the Scarabus here, it gives you layers. But I gotta say, it's not bringing on the nose the same level of complexity that the Isla from Isla was bringing, and this was more expensive. Come on! Oh, there's some apricot as well, dried apricot. All right, on the palate. Heavy on the Lapsang Souchong. Wow. Lapsang Souchong and like Balkan style tobacco with a lot of Latakia thrown into it. It's that kind of smokiness. Hand this to me blind. I don't think I call Laphroaig. I honestly don't. You're getting some iodine. You're obviously getting the peat thing, but not that much. And honestly, everything is kind of, it feels like the finish, the sherry casks have kind of taken everything over, and it's that kind of rush of elements that I think is producing the Lapsang Balkan tobacco kind of note. You got the tangerine, you got the bergamot. You got the brininess. It's not. It's nice. It's good. It's good. But the funny thing about this is it feels like the youngest of this bunch, even though it's the oldest. Or close. I don't know how old the Scarabus exactly is, but it's I would not think it's a day too many days past 10. It's got good texture. A lot of it hangs on pretty well. Oh, and there's some fennel to this as well. Fennel. Slightly floral as well. Interesting. Like dirty, musty flowers, maybe. But most of what's happening is at the front of my mouth. We're getting a little bit past my molars. It's not a terrible mouth length, but it's showing it younger than I would have expected it to show. I want to see what water does to this. Because with finishes like this, sometimes Water will just push the finish forward even more. Sometimes it will just rip it right off. You never quite know. 3, 4. This will take 5. Easily. Just a few drops more. Like 3 drops. Okay. Let's go back through these again. So I gotta say, like this Stillman's was the one I had the most doubts about. It's probably in the lead right now of all these, but it's a closer race than I was anticipating. Yeah, let's go back to the Scarabus on the nose. Peaty pear juice. I mean, this is just kind of devolved straight to Caol Ila new make at this point, which is I've had happen to me before with these kinds of, off-brand Caol Ilas. Peaty pear juice, seashells, twist of lemon, and some flowers. That's what this smells like. Okay, on the palate. I mean, in some ways, it's a white wine drinker's Isla, if that makes any sense. And I'm not talking about like Rombauer Chard fans. You can leave the room. You've already left the room at this point, right? But those of y'all who really enjoy like a razor sharp Albarino, like a great Bordeaux Blanc, like this is your kind of thing. If you like peat, this is your kind of thing. There's an austerity to this steely character, which is really, really appealing if that's your thing. That pear thing is still, the kind of new makey pear thing is still in play. But yeah, we're getting a lot of peat, brine, white pepper, rocks, and seashells, and rocks, and flint. Very, very, very austere. All the barrel influence has just completely flown out of this with water. And that's okay, because Caol Ila is fantastic distillate. Hard to score this. I don't think it got better or worse with water. I think it just got different. It's a very, very basic Isla whiskey, but it's still good. I'm stuck between like an 85 and an 86. You know what? I do think the water actually cramped the mouth presence a little bit, so I'm going to give this an 86 minus. 86 minus for this Scarabus 10-year-old. And honestly, I would probably give the same score to any number of other, undisclosed Caol Ila 10-year-olds out there, because there's a billion of them. Okay. On to the big question mark. Well, this is the bigger question mark, isn't it? But one of the big question marks here, the Isla from Isla. Oh my God. I just love this style. I really do. Peat smoke, sea breeze, but also just like burning stuff in the background. Like burning coal, burning plastic, all the burning stuff. But then you got you have the orange, you have even some you have the chocolate orange as well. even have some pineapple creeping through now, but it's all like doused in like bog water. India can kind of touch on this style sometimes. Some of the peated Paul Johns and Amruts, they can kind of get here, to be honest. Oh, and the pepper has stepped forward as well. A lot more black pepper now on the nose. On the palate. Again, couldn't cross my heart and tell you this is Lagavulin, but it's doing the thing. It is bringing that mingling of classic Southeast Isla maritime peat with ash and smoke of other kinds and just a grunge factor, which needs to be loved and appreciated. What's funny is that, a little bit like the Scarabus, it feels like the sherry cask has left the room. I mean, it's still providing some pepperiness. There's a savory factor here it's kind of come to say, a little bit of like a beef broth thing. But this is all about the spirit. I mean, yeah, this is fabulous, and I wish I wish I didn't like it as much as I do. But even if it isn't a Lagavulin, it's scratching that itch for me. I really need to review the basic 8-year-old one of these days as well, just to rave about it. I'll call this an 89. It's, we're not getting into the stratosphere with this, but it's as it's as good an Isla as you can get, at this kind of price point. 89 points for the Stillman's Isla from Isla, Selection 9. And here is the bigger question mark. The Barry Brothers and Rudd Williamson. What have we got? Jesus. The finish actually got stronger. Yeah, it's a sherry finish backed up with Laphroaig now, rather than the other way around. Lapsang, Balkan-style tobacco, all the oranges, all the chocolate oranges, black pepper, some, what is that, like almost some Skittles? No. Juicy fruit. Thank you. Lots of black pepper as well. Yeah, it really feels like the Oloroso cask is the star here, and the Laphroaig is just adding a little bit of color, which is sort of the reverse of what I was hoping for with this. But well, okay, it's still nice. It's still good on the palate. Same kind of story. Honestly, again, you hand this to me blind, I'm not calling Laphroaig. Not, 9 times out of 10, I'm not calling Laphroaig. I'm just not. Really orangey, Swisher sweets, lots of pepper. And the milk chocolate again, with some maritime peat and a little bit of medical waste, providing color But that's most what it's doing. And also Lapsang Souchong and Balkan tobacco. And the mouth length is still shorter than anything else here, which is like even the Scarabus with water, which had issues with mouth presence after I added the water, still was tickling my tonsils more than this. No, but the finish might hang on a little bit longer. There's trade-offs. It's not a perfect whiskey. It's a nice whiskey. What do I score this? Yeah, I'll score this an 87 with some kind of emoji. What kind of emoji? Like a neutral face emoji, with like the little flat line for the mouth. I mean, that's kind of my reaction to this. It's very good whiskey. It's not very Laphroaig-y. It's more about the finish than it is about the Laphroaig-ness. So yeah, that's kind of your lineup. Scarabus 10 is the cheapest thing here, and accordingly gets the lowest score. 86 minus. I think the nose is I like the Mickey nature of the nose when you add water, but honestly, on the whole, it's better without it. 86 minus. This Williamson is not very Laphroaig-y, if I'm totally honest. It's just not very Laphroaig-y. And if you want a better Laphroaig, you can pay less money and just get the basic 10-year-old cask strength. You honestly can, and that'll do you better. But not bad. 87 neutral face emoji out of 100. And the clear winner here is the Stillman's Isla from Islay Selection 9 with an 89. I don't know if this is actually Lagavulin, but it does a good impression. And yeah, that's your video. Thanks for watching, and cheers.